Hey kids, and welcome back to Bible Doodles. We're continuing learning the story of Moses and how he's helped set the Israelites free. Now, Egypt had just been infected with 9 different plagues, which included frogs, lice, and hail. And we're going to continue on the 10th plague of Egypt. So kids, grab your pens, pencils, paper, and crayons and doodle along with me. Because when you doodle, it helps you remember the story and the message a little bit better. Have fun, guys. The Lord spoke to Moses, "I shall bring one last plague to Egypt, one so terrible that the Pharaoh will have no choice but to let my people go. At midnight, every firstborn child throughout the country will die. Only the children of Israel will remain untouched. This day shall forever be known as the Passover, for tonight I will pass over all of Egypt, and my people will be freed. From now on, this day must be kept holy. Every household must kill a lamb and mark their doorposts with blood of the slain animal, so that when I pass in the night, I will know to leave their house untouched." In the morning, death was everywhere, except for the Israelites. The Pharaoh, raising from his bed in grief, sent for Moses and Aaron. "Take your people and go! Go from my country and take all of your flocks and herds." By now the Egyptians were so frightened that they begged the Israelites to leave as quickly as possible, and they gave them and their former slaves silver, gold, and jewels. And so it was that after 430 years in the land of their captivity, the children of Israel, 600,000 of them, all on foot, men, women, and children, with their flocks and herds and all of their possessions, left Egypt. God led his people out of Egypt through the wilderness and to the edge of the Red Sea. But the Pharaoh again hardened his heart and was angry that he let his slaves leave. He ordered the officers of his army to bring back the Israelites. The Israelites were camped out on the shore, and they saw the Egyptian army approaching, and they were full of fear. "Do not be afraid," Moses reassured them. "The Lord will protect you from harm." Then, following the word of the Lord, Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. Immediately waters parted, and a passage of dry land appeared. Moses led his people along the path, the waters like a high wall on either side of them. As soon as the Pharaoh saw what was happening, he ordered his army to follow. The Lord commanded Moses again to stretch out his hand. The water of the Red Sea closed over the Egyptian, and every man was drowned. But the children of Israel reached the far side of the sea in safety, and when they saw how God had protected them, they gave thanks to God and to the prophet Moses. After parting the Red Sea, the Israelites wandered the desert for many weeks, hungry, thirsty, and exhausted. They began to experience doubt that they would die of starvation. "They shall be well provided with food," God promised. That evening, the flocks of quail suddenly appeared, which were caught and roasted. The next morning, the ground was covered with small round shapes, white and tasting of honey. The Israelites were puzzled. "What is this?" they asked each other. "It must be manna, for it falls from heaven." "This is bread sent by God," said Moses. "Let the people gather as much as they can for one day and no more." Then God told Moses to go to a rock and strike it with his staff. As he did so, water cold and pure gushed out of the rock, so all could drink their fill. After 3 months, the children of Israel arrived at the foot of the holy mountain of Sinai, where they made their camp. Moses went up to the mountain to pray to God. On the 3rd morning, the skies turned black, and thunder and lightning crashed and rumbled through the darkness. The mountain itself belched smoke and fire like a great furnace. The ground shook, and the voice of God was heard like a mighty trumpet, calling Moses to him. "I am the Lord your God, who has brought you out of Egypt, and these are my commandments to be obeyed by all people. Worship no other God, no pictures or statues to worship. Do not use the Lord's name in vain. The Sabbath is a holy day of rest. Show respect for your mother and your father. You shall not commit murder. You shall not be unfaithful to your husband or your wife. Do not steal, do not speak falsely against others, and do not be envious of another person's possessions." When the people saw the thunder and smoke from the mountain, and Moses had not returned, they gathered around Aaron, saying, "You must make us a god, for we do not know what has happened to Moses, who has brought us out of Egypt." "Then bring me gold," said Aaron, "and I will give you what you want." So both men and women brought Aaron gold jewelry, and he made a monstrous golden calf. He built an altar to the calf, and the people prayed to it and offered it sacrifices, and they danced and feasted from it. Looking down from the mountaintop, God said to Moses, "How quickly are my commandments forgotten?" But Moses begged the Lord to forgive them. God sent Moses down the mountain carrying 2 stone tablets on which were engraved the 10 Commandments. As he came near the Israelite camp, Moses heard loud laughter and music. He saw the statue of the calf and smoking sacrificial fires and drunken figures wildly dancing. Full of anger, he flung the stone tablets to the ground, where they were broken into pieces. Then he summoned the people together at the entrance of the camp, Moses solemnly addressing them. "Let those who are on the side of the Lord come and stand by me." Only the family of the Levi tribe went with him, and the rest remained where they were. "I will send an angel to lead them to the promised land," said God. Kids, I hope you enjoyed the story of Moses, and just to let you know, he does reach the promised land of milk and honey just before he passes away. And then that land was conquered and divided and named after the descendants of Jacob and is now known as Israel. So kids, I don't have any Bible doodles to share with you this week because you're probably all outside having fun playing in this beautiful weather. But I do encourage you to do a Bible doodle and send it to pastor@furnacebrook.org so I can display it next week. All right, kids, have a good week. Bye-bye.